Hey, what's up, everybody? Lone Camper here. So, today I am going to do things a little differently. Today instead, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the camper, how I got it, and how it got to this mess, and so on and so forth. So, um, off the bat, this was found on Facebook back in July of 2022. Uh, it was from a veteran. I think he did like 20 years in the military, in the army, excuse me. Yeah, sold that to me on Facebook. He sucks, dude. Like, don't trust a lifer, man. Don't trust a lifer. They'll fuck you over. But, yep, did that, drove it to Crystal River, Florida, where I was working at the time. Let's see. Was working for a aquatic restoration company at the time. Uh, Not too bad of pay for like what it was. Just decent little summer job. Anyways, drove it down there, parked it. Let's see, I think it was July 17th is when it got there. When I got there, I got it in a pinch too, because like I was living with my buddy at the time in his camper. His was like a 19-footer. We were both living in it, and like, oh my goodness, like a lot of fun, actually, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, but tight, and oh, that was just it was rough. Going from like living with my buddy to having a big camper and then all alone. So that was interesting. Um, and I didn't want to stay at the company's house, as there was, I won't lie, there was like quite a few fucking idiots in there. One of them had like the personality of Eric Cartman, but instead of Eric Cartman's regular voice, it was like mixed with Cajun and ghetto. Very, very strange individual. Like, shoot, he actually almost killed me and my buddy on our first day of work. We were working on like barges, just giant metal platforms with motors on it so we can like turn and stuff. But anyways, the way you stop and kind of anchor yourself is they have holes in the barges where you would just kind of put a giant metal rod and it would just sink into the ground below, and that's how you would anchor yourself. Well, the guy who killed us, or nearly killed us, decided it'd be a great idea to take it up out of the ground, but he didn't realize that it was at the end of its rope, so he managed to get it out of its hole, and it just tipped over and nearly fell on me and my buddy's head. So, yeah, that was awesome. Anyways, July 17th, I get there with the camper. Me and my parents, set some things up like the fridge. Had to actually reseal a few windows. Excuse me, reseal a few windows. As this, as this thing was already falling apart when I got it. And no, there really wasn't too much water damage. Little small soft spot in the floor, but other than that, the owner thought it was fine and thought it was coming from the tub, which it wasn't. It's coming from the damn roof. Never trust a lifer. Anyways, get there, set everything up, and it's all good. Parents leave the next day. I go to work, but the next night at like 2 in the morning, these cockroaches just come from everywhere. Well, mainly in the skylight, like the skylight over my bed, the bathroom, and then one over by the front. So there was like 10 of them. They all just came out all at once. There was a couple of them that were flying. So every time that would like I would spray them, they like come at me. It was horrible. I got like no sleep that night, and they were just everywhere. Yeah. But it's fine. They all got killed. And I, debugged the place. By just, spray, by just spraying bug spray everywhere. Nothing crazy. Let's see, anything else while I was at Crystal River with the camper? No. Okay. So, hanging out in Crystal River, Florida till, I think it was like August 10th. I remember it being very early August. Was when I started my new job at a company called Aquanautic. Anyone ever go to that? If anyone ever goes to work there, you need to fuck off, dude. That place sucks. I don't see how that company made it over to America, man. Because the owner's from Germany, and like, oh my god, dude, he wouldn't pay us the right amount. He wouldn't pay me on time. I had to fight for $19 as a commercial diver. Granted, this was like stateside and rivers and whatnot, so I'm not in the sea doing anything crazy, but like still, dude was just. I'll get to him in a second. But anyways, at the beginning of August, I started my new job. Now, how it began is my buddy that I was working with that moved away came to work at Aquanautic before I did. And so one day he gives me a call and it's like, "Hey, yo, we really need some help, man. You mind coming to fill in for a couple days?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I tell my job, trying to double dip, like, hey, I'm gonna be out these days, I'm sick, blah blah blah. Can I get some, pay? Unfortunately, it got denied, but I didn't know that until after everything. Anyways, tried to double dip, that didn't work. Came to Fort Lauderdale, worked on a Miami job with Aquanautic for a couple of days. And best I can remember, all we did was work with some liquid cement because they had done all the hard stuff before. They'd already installed a pipe. They just needed help closing the pipe as well as kind of plugging it up. So that's what I was doing for a couple of days. In the meantime, I had also moved my camper there during this little 4-day stint. To live in it in the Aquanautic parking lot for a few days, and then come Monday, got told I wasn't needed anymore. Went back to Crystal River with my camper, worked there a couple days. Then Aquanautic said, "You know what? I think I'll just fuck around with this dude." So he calls me back up and was like, and offers me a job. And I know this already sounds terrible, and yes, the Aquanautic is a terrible company, but I would have gotten to go work in Europe for free. Or, excuse me, get paid to work in Europe. So I was like, bite the bullet on this one. I want Europe for free. So, anyways, let's see. Yeah, so now I am permanently in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. For the first week I'm permanently there, I am living in the company's parking lot, which I was living in their parking lot the first time I got there anyways. Funny story, I like killed, like permanently killed 3 of that company's wall outlets, which is great because screw them. But unfortunately, with blowing their wall outlets out, because I was that's where my RV was getting the power from to fuel the AC. Unfortunately, that also destroyed my AC, nearly causing my camper to burn down, unbeknownst to me at the time. So, but yeah, here that's a little bit of the story of my RV and just kind of how it got here. There's a lot more. That's just a little bit. But yeah, I just want to see how this do. Uh, Thanks for listening. See you guys.